Hey everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier on Elite Difficulty Mode. This is the 5th chapter. It's called the Talon, Shattered Talon or something like that. Silent Talon. We're in Russia here. Sorry, the title for this level escaped me for a minute. This first section here is a semi-stealth section, but it doesn't matter if you don't continue to be stealthy for this whole time. This is a long video, and I don't particularly enjoy this level. It's not hard. It's actually very easy because we have I think it's called the Warhammer. It's like this drone. It's like this big robot you use to take out enemies, and you have you can use missiles from it as well as mortars. And it makes this whole chapter extremely easy because it's so powerful, and you don't even have to waste any of your own bullets because the thing has infinite ammo. It's really, I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't know, if I'm enjoying the level. And all in all, I did not enjoy this level, but it's not because it wasn't well made or anything or it had issues. I didn't come across any issues, in fact. Now we're sprinting up ahead, and I think, here I'm flashing the screen just to show you how much the visibility is hindered by the snowstorm here. But it is going to clear up ahead, and we're going to be using, I think the thing's called the Warhammer. You activate it just as you activate your other things. There's sensor grenades and things like that. You could actually take cover behind the thing, as I'm going to do right here, in fact.
Like a motor pool,
and
they got a tank.
Pretty much like the majority of the fights in this chapter are just me doing this exact thing right here, just looking for targets with this. Oh, the Warhound, sorry.
3 o'clock.
And so basically you can't shoot when we're in this mode here, when we're in the weapon system mode, having pressed L2. And I'm using mortars here. And it doesn't look like they're letting me use the missiles right here. So, I mean, it auto-targets all of the little soldiers running around. It auto-targets when you're hovering over like a tank. Because it would really be frustrating if, hovering over a tank would not be hard, but hovering over these little minuscule targets in the far distance is tough. So if you don't have enough vision, and if you can't see everything, you're going to have to move around. But you could still be in the weapon system mode here. So here's a boss, and whenever the cooling mechanism is in the orange, you can't shoot anything. So you're going to have to moderate how much you want to shoot. And there's really no issues. I mean, it's actually too easy. And it's just a shame that the majority of the fights are going to be nothing more than this kind of thing, but that perhaps gives me a chance to talk about other things if I need to. So we have some more trucks coming in, and we will actually use the missiles in a minute. But you don't. Where am I? Am I even hiding behind? I'm not even. Yeah, I guess I am crouched behind the war machine here. And it's just it's a nice addition to the game. It makes these situations easy to take care of. I mean, you don't have to use this thing. I don't imagine you would. But there are certain. I mean, when we're trying to take down the radio towers and choppers and things like that, it's best to just use this thing. In fact, if we're taking out a tower, you probably have to use it. And also, some issues I have is just trying to find the targets, but as long as you're moving the right analog stick around the environment, you can, you see there's a target still down there, I forgot about him. But if you're having trouble seeing any enemies, you might want to deploy a sensor grenade. See, the target was staring at me right in the face right there, I didn't see him, but I am going to take him down once I get down the hill here. You know, maybe he wasn't staring at me in the face, but it's one of those issues where the enemies really aren't highlighted, except if you scan the situation with the right analog stick and have it hover over enemies. Once it hovers over the enemies, I think that orange diamond will stay on them, so you know that they're a target in the vicinity where you need to hit. But anyway, so now we got to take down the comm center up ahead. There's no enemies, so we're just going to have to wait for this thing to get out. Oh no, we don't even have to wait for it. You don't have to wait for it. In fact, you can just fire a missile from wherever it is, I think, unless it has to be docked on the ground. So this really reminds me of like Star Wars games, you know, Empire Strikes Back. But okay, so choose the Warhound, and it's just saying that we can go into the mode early. We don't have to actually wait for it to come over here. So now, for the first time, we can use missiles. And to use the missile, you just press the L1 button, and then it has to load for a second, and then right there, then you can start moving it with the right analog stick. So, did I miss it? Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't even sure. I think I fired a mortar up here. No, a missile. And you can move the missile as long as you've got fuel in it. I believe that's how it works. So that thing's destroyed. Now we're going to go on to the next big confrontation. And I really don't think I died on any of these. I mean, you'll see cuts and edits and things like that, but it was only because it was either I stopped playing for the day or I just wasn't being able to see the targets, and I felt that it was a bad piece of footage. So right here I'm deploying a missile, so I'm going to take that thing out. Deploy mortars. It's actually easier to use the mortars, but you know, the missiles are easier. So there's the GAZ-66. He's back in town doing his shit. I don't know what exactly he's doing, but what I'm doing is missing targets like crazy, aren't I? And I just roll with it. So we've got to secure this area. And here's another tank coming in. And we damage that thing pretty easily. But the thing about this, see, there's a target up there. You can pretty much just go to a very, very safe location and take these guys out. There will come a point when they're facing two choppers that you will have to move around a bit. Also, if you have some entrenched enemies in the distance, you can use the missiles and then just have them land, and then usually the splash damage from the missiles will take out a cluster of enemies who are in one location. So now I'm overheated right here. I don't think you can overheat with the missiles, just the mortars. And right there, I was trying to see if maybe using the magnetic view could give me more visibility. We'll be getting some night goggles in the next chapter, and I like that chapter a lot more. But basically, I don't like having to use alternate vision modes, but I like that they're in the game because they give the game a lot of variety and different ways to play, and just a nice, clean look. A lot of creativity went into these ideas, obviously, but I just like environments like in Uncharted and like Gears of War 3, things like that. I like bright settings where my visibility isn't obscured. But I mean, I guess you can't really get any brighter than this. But so here an enemy is pulling up in a tank, and you can destroy the tank if you want to, or do what I did is just let the enemy run out. And I'm following the Warhound here, and I'm going to position myself behind this. And I'm going to move forward. I'm still in. You notice whenever it's in this kind of camera view, it's in the weapon system mode. So just another long fight. And if you are having trouble, maybe look to see where your teammates are firing. This right here, it needed me to destroy this bird right here. So I think it just requires one missile there. And a lot of these shots just go wild, and I apologize for that. what else to say?
Smoke him! Incoming reinforcements!
And that's the thing about some of these games that aren't as challenging. There's fewer things to say, and that's another reason why I'm a little uncomfortable doing a guide like this, because some of the challenge factor is just not there sometimes. But I suppose it will get increasingly difficult as things go on. There are, 7 more chapters to battle with.
Knock it down! We gotta reel it now! Warhound on the move! 9 o'clock! Watch it, APC!
And I did find out the protagonist we're playing at is someone named Kozak. We're not playing as an anonymous person. He's got a name. I expected a little more fleshed out storytelling in the cutscenes, but maybe they just haven't come yet, or maybe they just don't exist because this is a war game and it's a pretty sterile type of game, even though it's got a lot of ingenuity, I feel. Creativity.
Taking cover on the Warhound! Watch the CPR! Get the cover! Or we got this, just don't get cocky!
Okay, so you notice on some of these machines they've got a pseudo health bar over them, so you've got to take off damage from them. So what else did it have me do here? Looks like I still need to secure. So if it ever says secure, you still got some work to do, obviously.
That cleared him out!
And this guide really so far has not been very profitable for me either, because my monetization requests get denied, and I'm such a small-time YouTuber, I can't dispute them without fearing the kind of the drastic repercussions of them, because they want proof for a lot of these.
I'm on the Warhound!
For a lot of these videos that I submit, and if you submit too many that fail, they take away your money. So there's just so many. Sometimes I just hate YouTube.
Taking cover on the Warhound! Cover, I'm moving! Contact, get ahead!
Thing is, though, then you might ask me why I'm making a guide for this if I'm not really getting paid too much. It's because, with more videos, with more variety in the videos that I put on my channel, the more people it'll attract, and the more those people will look at my other content, watch other videos that are monetized. So that's my way of thinking. It's a little sly, I suppose you'd say, and maybe kind of underhanded, but it's a good thought. I mean, it's an intelligent way of looking at the situation.
Well, at least we don't have to swim. If we let you
And a way to bring some positive light into a negative situation. So we're heading on to this British boat down here. I'm going to be doing a lot of battles down here. So I'm going to pick the Scorpion for no other reason than it sounds like a cool weapon to use. And we have lockdown in 10 minutes. So you have to do all these battles and still defeat the time limit. And I did this in my first try. I had no problems beating the time limit, so that should not be an issue for anybody, as long as you're continuing to hit all these targets quickly and not dawdling too much. So whenever it says contact, just stop, because it might be a stealth part or something like that. That's what I've been experiencing. Whew, boy. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're finding enemies. We're going to go into the weapon system mode up ahead. I thought the first aid kit had something there, but it doesn't, obviously. So something ignited up there. Now we're going to get into cover and use... Okay, I'm using the Scorpion here, but I'm going to switch to the Warhound pretty soon. It's because it's so easy to use. So that bomb didn't hurt me. Now I'm going to go into this mode here, and it's pretty simple. It's really simple, in fact. In fact, there's only one part that's... Well, I would say maybe two parts that are hard. So here that might have been an accident right there, pressing L1. I thought I might have been off the weapon system mode. But I've been also watching some other videos that I actually like on YouTube of Ninja Gaiden. I saw this one guy playing it, and he had his face in a little webcam in one little screen. He had like picture-in-picture on his videos, and I told him that's a clever way of doing it. I never thought of doing it that way, because I always do these commentaries in post-production, and he was doing it. Well, he wasn't even doing commentary. He was just doing his reactions, and I thought that was cool. If I ever did Ninja Gaiden 2 again, I might like to do that, but I'm the kind of person that I want to explain everything on the screen. I don't want to just have my reactions, although that would be cool. But yeah, but one of the worst parts about this game is the load times, and they really rear their ugly heads when you keep failing the missions and you're not necessarily dying. Because I don't die too much just by getting killed. I'm dying because people are finding dead bodies of mine. So it just ends your session, and then it starts loading again. I really wish these new consoles would focus on that, if nothing else. Just take the goddamn loading times off. Nobody wants those. You know, and start putting like real book manuals in the games from now on too. That's ridiculous. You get a new game, and it comes with a little pamphlet. Sometimes they're putting these manuals, like I bought God of War Ascension, and even The Last of Us too. They both have their manuals. You put the disc in and you install it or whatever. I don't think you had to install God of War, but I know you had to install The Last of Us. And there's like a piece of paper on the left side with it says multiplayer or something, and some shit that I don't want. And I'm like, where is my huge book from the N64 or the the N64 days, the Super Nintendo days? Where's my huge book to read while I'm on the toilet, so I can read about the game? I don't want to have to read about all this shit when I'm doing a tutorial, or read little loading tips during the loading menus. But I do want to mention one good supporter of this guide in my Ninja Gaiden videos, because his name is coming up because he's been a supporter of a lot of my Ninja Gaiden content in my Ninja Gaiden, Razor's Edge, Ninja Gaiden 2, and God of War Ascension. And okay, I think he lives in Canada, and his name's Winter something with numbers at the end. And so in my last video, or one of my videos, in one of these videos for this game, I was talking about Adam Sessler, and because I had no idea who that guy was until my God of War Ascension guide. When a lot of people were bitching about Adam Sessler, he couldn't do the game, and I'm like, who is this guy? I searched for him, and I saw his review of that game, and he was complaining like a little bitch on there about not being able to beat the Trial of Archimedes. And that was not the first time I heard somebody complaining about how hard that trial was, because when I watched both the GameSpot and the IGN review, both reviewers, and I don't remember who it was, those people, but they were complaining about that it was too demanding on the player. Well, you know what? There was so many hard parts on God of War 3 and the other games, but God of War 3, a lot of people don't think it's that hard, but that game is incredibly difficult in some areas, very, very tough. And it's just like, where the fuck was Adam Sessler when God of War 3 was coming out? Was he just somewhere else not playing games, or what? Because I mean, you do the Loom Chamber fight in God of War 2, and then you come talk to me about how hard a game is, or the final bosses of God of War 1 on God difficulty, or the Cerberus Breeder fight in God of War 2, or the Protect the Translator sequence, or a lot of parts in God of War 3. The Scorpion boss fight, that's a really cheap and hard fight. And then you have that huge ass fight near the end of the game, followed by the Cerberus Breeder dog fight with the Satyrs. And it's like, that stuff never got patched, and that was way harder than the fucking Trial of Archimedes. And I know hardness is subjective, but for people who've grown up with these games and played them a lot and beat them on their hardest settings, the Trial of Archimedes wasn't the hardest thing in the game. For me, I think the final bosses in that game are harder than that. Just because I'm not much of a... I struggle on bosses a lot. And, but I never complained about it because it was a fair challenge. And I guess all these people like Sessler, they didn't think it was fair. But yeah, he took I don't know. And the thing I was wondering was, since you can't switch the difficulty level while you're playing that game, it leads me to think to myself, A, what difficulty was he playing on when he got to that part and, struggled with it for like however many hours he struggled with it? And B, did he restart his campaign and lower the difficulty to, say he did select normal? Because I think a person like him would probably play the game on normal right away. I don't know, what do you guys think? He'd probably play it on normal. And, like, if he had to restart the game on easy and get to the Trial of Archimedes again and still struggle with it and ask his coworker to beat it for him like he said he had to, like, was that the point when he gave up on easy or normal? Because to give up on normal and then go back to easy and then do the campaign again and not be able to do it on easy, that's actually really scary, because that shows that guy is a fucking noob. And I'm going to mention another supporter of this channel is a big-time Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 buff, Kokoro Master. He actually, I think he found my guides when I was playing Razor's Edge, and he's been a steady friend and supporter of the channel ever since. And actually, just before I came onto this video to do the audio, I checked his feed for his channel because I'm a subscriber, as he is a sub of mine, both my channels. I want to appreciate that a lot, sir. But there was some pro tips video where he was replying to some other noob on there, and they were saying this one guy, he had like a foreign name who Kokoro Master was talking about, or to whom he was replying on there, and this guy said he couldn't beat it on, I don't know what he had it on, but he probably had it on normal or hard or whatever he had it on. And he said that he was playing for like 3 days, and then Kokoro Master goes on there and just tells him, are you aware that these people who make the games and who review the games and are journalists, they're fucking noobs? That they are, because they can't do anything but make the game and review the game. They can't, I play games. I'm not saying I'm better, but I don't review games. I'm not a journalist, and I'm sure as fuck don't make the games. And the people that make the games are much smarter than I am, but I don't think that the journalists are much smarter than I am, though, because I have a lot of education underneath my figurative belt, and I think that I could write a competent review much better than Sessler could, and hell, I could beat the Trial of Archimedes on Titan in 2 tries. And the only reason I reloaded that trial was because the Medusa stone shattered me or something. I don't know what happened, but I know I beat it on my second fucking try. And people, a couple other people, another guy I want to mention, the Franchise Boy 83. If he's listening, he's been a steady subscriber and watching all my God of War content to help him out and stuff like that, and maybe just to enjoy. Let me do that thought in a moment here. This is the part where we have a couple choppers in the air, and we need to take them out with the war machine here, the Warhound. And I did this really quick. This was kind of atypical because here I'm destroying the stuff, and when you're in this mode, you can't shoot. So just get some missiles up there, get mortars. If you think you're getting damaged too much, quickly move to another location. Or if you think you are going to get damaged a lot, before you start taking damage, because on this mode you do die pretty quickly, go to another piece of cover. I also think there's a turret over here that you can use if you do want to try that out. That actually might be a valid strategy. So I got a little reward there for doing that in that mode. But bringing up Franchise Boy again, he was asked, or he was echoing something I said in one of my, like the second video I made about, I'm not, what I said that I'm not going to buy these next gen consoles until I see Uncharted 4 or God of War 4. And he said, I hope they do make a God of War 4, and they will make one, you guys. It's, to not have a game like that on the PS4 when you've got a God of War 4 in the numerical canon right up to, that's why they made a prequel before, and that's why this year they made the Ascension. They made a prequel because they want to save it. They want to save God of War 4 for the PS4. People are greedy. They want to make money. So these people know how successful these franchises are. To not have like Uncharted 4, God of War 4, or some of these other really good first-party franchises, it's like Nintendo not having Zelda or Mario on their platform, on their new platforms. It won't happen. So we will get a God of War 4 and an Uncharted 4. I mean, I can pretty much guarantee you they're already working on it right now, both of those games. Because how could they not? They'd be fools to not make those games. And the thing I don't want to happen is I don't want Todd Pappy, the guy behind these games, to have to sacrifice his vision and cater to these goddamn whiners who are saying that the God of War is too hard. If there's some kind of a technical problem in the air, that's the only time they should fix the game. If the game's not working. But everything worked fine in the Trial of Archimedes, except people suck at playing games. That's the bottom line. And as you're watching my video, you probably think I suck at shooting, and I do. But I'm not going to complain to the maker of this game and say you should patch it. That's the difference, because I have much more integrity than that. And I don't need to do that, because even if I do struggle on these games, I just practice a little bit more and get more competent at them. I don't whine. I don't start whining to people. And I'm sure nobody on my channel does that, because from what I've seen, all the people on my channel, they're nice fucking people. Like, I hardly ever get people saying mean things on my channel. Never. And ironically, some of these other channels, they get so much hate on their channel. Just so much hate, so little love for their work. And I don't know the reason for that. How these trolls target people. But I hardly ever receive hate mail or stuff like that, and I even seldom have to ban people or spam them and mark their comments as spam. What I like to do instead of blocking people is I like to reply with something cutting and witty and just mark their comment as spam. So if I do block them, that removes their message, so everybody can't laugh at how stupid these people are. But I'm sorry I haven't talked strategy throughout this. It's a really hot night and I've had a long day, and I sat down and I saw that this video was 30 minutes long, and I knew that it was nothing but a bunch of battles that are really easy to do, so I wanted to talk a little bit about other stuff. Sometimes when I'm listening to other people narrate guides and they're really technical, I also find pleasure in hearing stuff about them, like their opinions and stuff. So I imagine other people might like to hear my opinions too, even if they don't necessarily agree with them verbatim. But like Adam Sessler, he's a smart guy, and he's got a lot of. He's actually too smart. Sometimes I watch some of his videos, but I didn't appreciate his voice. I don't know. Maybe it was just his voice was the most annoying of all the ones that I was hearing complaining about the God of War Trial of Archimedes. Because the thing was, like, when I saw those reviews, and I'm like, maybe it is legitimately hard. You know, maybe it is like the Loom Chamber or something like that, but it didn't turn out to be like that at all. So anyway, now we're going down here into the weapons cache, and this level's almost over. So, oh, we do have a tough part coming up after this, so I'll talk about that in a sec. But we're waiting for the Warlord, or the what's his name? Might be Warlord. Overlord, that's his name. The commander. So we're going to find a missile down here, some like atom bomb or something, I'm not sure what it is.
Holy shit.
And we're going to place...
Big to be storage, huh?
Oh, we find a bunch of these, whatever they are, nuclear bombs, and we need to take them out.
It's more like you can get far enough away.
I mean, they're probably not nuclear,
Plant charges.
because these guys couldn't get far enough away from something like that.
Charge is hot. Let's move.
And we're coming up on that difficult part. It's right up ahead, and I think this is the final thing you do on this level. So you're gonna get knocked back right here every single time you die or whatever, and you notice you're not only are you damaged quite significantly every time, but you're in the high alert status. So what you need to do is take down this bird right here, get some shots into this thing, and try not to miss it like me, like an idiot. But for some reason, I don't know. I think the thing's gone. I might have killed it somehow. And also, all the people's names I mentioned in this video, if you don't want me to say your name in future videos, I understand that. Because a lot of times I do like to incorporate comments that I see in videos, but I don't know the comfortability factor of people. Like, sometimes when I'm watching a video, I would just rather the person didn't say my name. And other times, I would like them to say my name, so it's just one of those preferences that I respect about people. So, right here, I really don't know why it got all red right there, but it might not have been an issue of dying. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed those tangents tonight. Got an email? Okay. I've been working on my BMW, trying to, because my grandfather passed away last year, and it was willed to me. I've been trying to fix it up. It's an older one, a '97, but it's a really nice car. And I've been trying to keep it up in his name and his memory. So haven't had enough time to play lately because I've been out working on the car, and I'm gonna get it piece by piece into a beautiful machine, even more beautiful than it was before.
1 minute to fireworks.
So, but just because I drive a BMW doesn't mean I'm rich, and just because I can beat these trials on very hard doesn't mean I'm a pro. But bottom line is, I don't whine about shit.